The Trump Department of Energy's PC police are continuing their war on words by adding climate change, green, and decarbonization to the growing list of words that they cannot say at the, get this, Office of Energy Efficiency and Renewable Energy. Yeah. It's according to an email issued Friday and obtained by Politico. Now, obviously, that's kind of ironic here, as those things are at the heart of that particular department's mission. But apparently, you can't say that. Can't say these words. The department is the government's largest investor in technologies that could help reduce emissions that cause climate change, as well as, reduce pollution. But apparently, you cannot mention that solution or even the problems. In fact, here's a letter from, or I should say, the directive from Acting Director of External Affairs, Rachel Overbay, saying, please ensure that every member of your team is aware that this is the latest list of words to avoid, and continue to be conscientious about avoiding any terminology that you know to be misaligned with this administration's perspectives and priorities. Those instructions apply to both public-facing and internal communications and cover documents, such as requests for information, for federal funding opportunities, reports, and briefings. So basically, they are being told to pretend that climate change does not exist, even though it does, whether you believe it or not, it's real. In addition to both climate change and green, the EERE forbid officials from using emissions to avoid the implication that they are a negative. Ooh, no, that sounds too negative when you call them emissions. Then what are we supposed to call them? Well, you're not supposed to talk about them at all. Oh, right. Other terms that are banned include energy transition, maybe because it has a word transition in it. I don't know. Sustainability or sustainable, clean or dirty energy. Wait a minute. Hold on.
Clean coal, meaning they're taking out coal, they're going to clean it.
Oops. And carbon/CO2 footprint, and tax breaks, tax credits, and subsidies. Wow, there it is. Here we have the freedom of speech government literally banning words that Trump and the oil industry, more importantly, doesn't like. Okay, remember that they got a stooge in there that is running this department. That fossil fuel industry has known for decades at least that their business model is driving climate change. And that's why they don't want you to talk about it. In fact, Energy Secretary Chris Wright has also sought to impugn climate science by touting a report that he had commissioned downplaying the role of rising emissions and their effect in worsening weather extremes. He has endorsed some of the report's most controversial findings, such as claiming that the report or that the potential benefits of a warmer planet are undervalued. Undervalued. Yes, the benefits, you see, of places in the world being rendered uninhabitable for human beings. What benefit? What benefit? And again, I find some irony in this, right? Right now, the MAGA movement is, one of their main goals is to try to stop immigration, right? Wouldn't it make sense then to ensure that people don't have to leave their homes because of droughts, flooding, massive storms, temperatures that are too high for people to grow food or even go outside? Wouldn't that make sense? That's what's happening in certain areas of the world right now. And that partly what will drive and what is driving migration right now. So the only theory that I can come up with is, that kind of squares that, is they actually do want more migration. What? The Trump administration wants more migration? Yes. Because the more people that come in or try to come in, I mean, the more people that do that, the more they can fearmonger about them. Every time an election comes around, they'll be able to whip up their base with fears of another migrant caravan. It's worked very, very well for them in elections. I mean, it's worked so well that Trump managed to get Latinos to vote against immigration. Okay, that's how successful Republicans have been on messaging and how dismal Democrats have been. And by the way, on obstruction, they've also been very, very successful. Remember, Democrats kept trying to push immigration reform. This was back in, what, 2013, 2014-ish, right? And one of the things that they tried to do is to make our system a little bit more streamlined, a little better, reduce waiting times, because waiting times are insane. And they also wanted to do more checks to make sure that criminals didn't come in. That's because that's how the Democrats roll, right? Now, what happened? Well, Republicans blocked it every single time. Marco Rubio, who submitted his own immigration reform proposal, ended up voting against it. He voted against his own immigration reform bill. Why? It's because they're using immigration to win elections. And at the same time, they're exacerbating climate change, which will lead to more migration. Obviously, it's not the main goal here, right? The main goal is to enrich fossil fuel companies who happen to be major Republican vote donors, okay? But it all works together. You can see this, okay? Now, whether all of this is connected by design or coincidence that just ends up working in their favor, I can't exactly say. But what I can say is that this is effective. The more major storms and events that happen that devastate other countries as well as our own, right? The more fearful people are going to get, okay? And the more that desperate people attempt to escape from the poorer countries that cannot deal as effectively to those events like we can, the more fearful people here are going to become. And the more that happens, the more Republicans will be able to take advantage of that to fearmonger to people about scary immigrant caravans and they're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs, okay, to acquire more and more political power. That's how all of this is connected, how it all kind of comes together. And now this government is banning any effort to try to slow climate change, can't even talk about it, and are trying to make it worse. Look, bad times aren't just coming, they're already here, and because of the actions of this administration are likely to get worse. Buckle up. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.